Recently, I started work on developing a sci-fi horror game. I've always wanted to make a game like this, as the concept is very cool to me. It's been a couple months since I've started development, so in this video I'll show you what I've done and give you a basic rundown of the story. In this game, you are an astronaut sent on a recovery mission to one of Jupiter's moons, Europa. Your task is to find out what happened to the previous crew, and try to save any that you can. Europa is known for hosting large oceans underneath its icy surface, so exploring them could be a key feature of the game. I've designed a basic surface scene where the player will land and enter the different buildings. First is the landing pad, where the player will land. Then there's the entrance to the main facility, and finally is the entrance to the power shed. The landing pad is where the player will first start the game. I designed it in Blender, and I'm pretty happy how it turned out. I created this bunker to house the main power switch. I guess it's kind of unnecessary, as I could have just had it in the main facility, but it means that the player gets to walk around more. This right here is the entrance to the main facility. There's nothing really special about it. Its only purpose is to serve as an access point to the base. Inside the main base is where a lot of the lore will be hidden. I'm planning on making a readable log system, but that's for a future video. I added this astronaut that gets dragged into a pit as you enter the room. I think it looks pretty cool. This main chamber here is where the submarine will be housed. I'm still yet to design the exterior, but I have designed the interior of the submarine. Here is the interior. I designed it in Blender, and I really like how it looks, but it still needs to be functional, which means I'll have to make a movement script for the submarine. I ended up going to ChatGPT for the script, and it honestly works pretty well considering other times that I've used ChatGPT for coding. I tested out the control system, and it felt really good. However, I still had to make a display with the controls for the user. Quickly though, if you are enjoying this video and you want to see more of this content, please consider liking and subscribing. It makes a big difference, and it's only 2 clicks. I got to work creating this user interface system for the submarine. I wanted to keep it consistent with the pixelized theme, so I went for pixel art. It turned out to look pretty good, so now the only thing that was left was to find a way to implement it into the submarine. I tried just placing it directly in the scene, but the rendering cam was making it seem all distorted and hard to read, so I knew I had to find a different way. I figured I could render the UI on a camera that was separate to the one that was being sent to the render cam. However, when I tried this, it just rendered over everything that was already there, which led to this really strange bug. What I ended up having to do was create a third camera for the chair specifically, and then creating another render texture for that camera, which would overlay over the top of the normal overlay, which was rendering the UI, which was rendering over the top of the normal render cam. But you can see in this test that I did that the system still wasn't working for some reason. This problem had me stumped for a while, and I thought I'd finally figured it out when I changed the layer of the chair to the second overlay. That seemed not to be it though, as it gave me this really weird bug where it seemed like the chair was painted. I honestly forgot how long I spent trying to fix this system, but when I finally did, I had this nice looking UI that was slightly pixelized, but not so much that it was unintelligible. Next, I finally got around to modeling the exterior of the submarine in Blender. It took a while, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I did all of the texturing and applied all of the materials in Unity. It looks pretty good, but I'm still not sure about the blue color. If you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them in the comments. This is what it looks like when it's inside the scene. I also added the ability to go from the facility to the inside of the submarine and back out again. I spent much more time than I should have just trying to get this one system working, but I'm happy with how it looks now. You also may have noticed this HUD that I drew for on top of the camera. It looks alright, but I'm definitely planning on changing it in the future. The last thing that I did was create this basic day-night cycle, where as the game progresses, the light slowly gets darker. I'm really happy with how it looks. If you did make it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll try to upload again reasonably soon.